what do you think about Kim Possible? Like, is it does it do anything for you?
I think it could only be redeemed if Tom Cruise cross-dressed and performed it live action.
We are not shutting this movie down!
Yes.
That would be hilarious.
Yes.
It just kind of fell short. If you didn't have it in the list, I probably wouldn't remember it. In my opinion, it was an okay show. It hit its marks for what it was. If you watch it, I'm sure it's action-packed enough to keep your attention.
Real quick, we want to talk about a spy, and like secret agent stuff. Let's just plop it in Board Identity.
It's our spy flick.
Next, we got King of the Hill.
Look, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yep.
I tell you what, this is one of my favorite shows. Almost as good as cooking a steak on a freshly propaned tank of gas and just cook the flavor right into it. No, really, Mike Judd was writing this amazing show, and then once it finally got some primetime cable network spots, it took off, and then still continuously runs on Adult Swim with reruns.
Right.
I can always go back and rewatch the show. Long running show as it should have been. Wonderful storytelling. Yeah, this is definitely a top tier for me.
So I don't really want to talk about too much about Kids Next Door because I don't feel like this show actually did that well, and I feel like Cartoon Network was trying a little bit too hard with Kids Next Door.
I did like it. It's really silly. It's really meta as to what it is. Like, they don't take themselves seriously in it. In a spy thing, I would definitely put it above Kim Possible if we're gonna go into that genre. I don't know. From what I could see, it wasn't that bad.
Next, we're going with Nickelodeon's My Life as a Teenage Robot. I'm just gonna place this right now. I don't think it was that great.
What's the matter with you?
I've never seen
You
that.
never seen My Life as a Teenage Robot? Just quick backstory.
No.
Basically, it's a teenage girl who was built as a robot. Basically, she is living at school like a normal kid, but there's evil in the world, and she has to stop it. Like that's basically the quick plot point of the show.
If you pitch that to me in an elevator, I would just go, "Yeah, we'll talk," and never
talk,
call you
yeah.
again to make that show.
All right, so we're gonna move on
Yes.
to the Looney Tunes. I don't know.
That looks like the newer.
Yeah, this is the
iteration
newer
of it.
Looney Tunes. So in that case, it's going in the trash bin.
Low.
It's going in the trash bin.
Low. So animation before the Looney Tunes was mainly procured by Disney, as they create a lot of the old school black and white where everything's kind of dancing, because that's what animation was. And they obviously had not stigmas, but they also had restrictions on what they could show. It couldn't be too violent, couldn't have been whatever. This is one of the godfathers of what we get today. You wouldn't have an Adventure Time. You wouldn't have an Ed, Ed and Eddie. Any of the slapsticky stuff that came out of Looney Tunes definitely paved the way. It deserves its title at the top.
It paved the road for what cartoons are now, and that's why it's so legendary.
It's definitely the blueprint and foundation of it.
Magic School Bus was kind of like hit home for me when I think about my childhood. Early morning cartoon that you could catch on your regular TV channels. Didn't have to have cable to watch it, and it was just legendary. We won't really go too much into it, but yeah, I think like at least up here in the top tier.
Oh yeah, if they did a live action, I would just want Matthew McConaughey to be the bus driver.
Yes.
All right. Today we're gonna shrink down and go into this homeless guy's sphincter. I'm gonna show you what the body looks like.
And then the school bus is a Lincoln.
All right. Yeah. The Lincoln school bus.
All right, so next we got My Gym Partner's a Monkey. I hated this show. I'm just gonna put it there. I hated it, and I don't really think we should talk about it much. I think it's Go right there.
I remember watching it, and it wasn't good.
And then we can basically put Declassified School Survival Guide up there as well. That was a train wreck as well.
Yeah, it's like a failed attempt at a Ferris Bueller
Right.
style show. It just didn't land.
Next, we have Phineas and Ferb. Now, I didn't really watch this show too much. It was okay. I mean, it was all right.
I know it has a big following. I would have preferred the gangster version, which is called Fine Ass and Herb.
That shit good.
I would definitely, I would watch that.
Rolling on these 40s.
Now we have another guilty pleasure show, the Powerpuff Girls.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice.
A Powerpuff Girls.
This show was amazing.
So the original, yes.
Yes, the original.
Yeah, they brought it back and tried to modernize it to how cartoons are being done today, and it made the show fall so flat, besides revisiting some of your favorite villainous characters, which their rogue gallery for Powerpuff Girls is awesome. Mojo Jojo, him who is definitely gender fluid, and that came out way before that was even a thing.
Yep.
What makes that show so great is they did a great job of putting enough little action parts where you're having fun with it, but they also were able to make fun of themselves in a very meta way.
Definitely dropping it in either Good Will Hunting or Martian. I think it belongs up there.
Goodwill for sure. I think you know what we have to do when we talk about this next show right after we say the title.
Whoa! If you don't know what Regular Show is, you need to go watch Regular Show. I'm sorry. I'm already putting it up in the Martian because this show is legitly funny.
So not too many cartoons have the ability to lift you up. So this show ran for a really long time, 12 seasons. It was a gem on Cartoon Network. I've already watched the creators' new show that's on HBO Max.
Yes.
Check it out.
Yes.
It's just as good. It's about a young couple falling in love, having a kid, and the trials and tribulations that go through that. But you can't go wrong with that show or the creator.
Honestly, this is probably my favorite show. Besides the other ones, Regular Show is probably my all-time favorite. I could go rewatch the episodes a billion times and not get upset about it. So next we got Ren and Stimpy. This is one that was just around the time where I was coming into kind of watching cartoons as a kid. It's a little bit older. I was a little young to watch this, so I didn't really touch too much on Ren and Stimpy.
Butter Toast Man. So this actually aired on MTV.
Back on MTV by popular demand, it's Ren again. Ren and Stimpy. All this week at 7 p.m.
Back when it was still a television station and not a reality barf show. Hilarious show. It's got the Happy Happy Joy Joy song. It's also their parody of Slinky. It's long,
Right.
it's heavy, it's grimy artwork, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And very like a couple it's when animation started to really start getting into like mainstream animation started getting into like almost a psychedelic style episodes.
Right.
And yes, Good Will Hunting, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, so now we have something that I'm going to pick a bone with, but first, Nate, I know you're going to want to talk about Robot Chicken for a little bit.
Long ago, everyone thought claymation was done, and then Seth Green was like, no, I'm going to write funny stuff to it. Some of the best parody content you can find. Too many nostalgic cartoons being brought back, making fun of all the greatness of some of our favorite shows, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, even poking fun at itself. Hits all your marks for just complete silliness. Many of nights not sleeping, watching this and binge watching the seasons once they came out.
So here is my thought, and I know the internet is going to jump all over me for this one. I don't like Robot Chicken. So for me, every like 2 or 3 good episodes, there's about 10 or 15 bad episodes, in my opinion. Every time I go to watch Robot Chicken, I just can't enjoy it. Yes, I know that there's going to be a lot of hate for this because there is a huge Robot Chicken following. I didn't say that the show was bad. I didn't say the show was bad. I said there is a lot of shit bad in this show that is just not good. The show as a whole has been running for a reason, and that reason is because there's funny moments. If it were up to me, I'd probably put it like at least True Grit, but
I'm okay with that.
I thought we were actually gonna have a fight about that. All right.
No, well, because I can't disagree that there were a couple dud episodes. I feel overall as it continued, the writing got better. I think Robot Chicken's fun.
Let's move on to Rocket Power. It lasted for a while. It wasn't a bad show. Actually, this show was the introduction for me to want to learn how to like rollerblade and skateboard.
I remember thoroughly enjoying that show when it was on.
Yeah.
And it might even just be a historical hallmark of what California was before COVID turned it into a mess.
Yeah, they should recreate Rocket Power with COVID, and they're all just sitting indoors. I think,
or there's just homeless everywhere, shitting on the
doing
beach.
ollies over homeless people. I think I'm gonna
extreme.
I'm gonna put it in True Grit. I think it belongs, kind of middle of the road. It was a good show. Rocko's Modern Life, another oldie but goodie.
Spunky. The turtle used to always crack me up. Oh, Rocco, it's been terrible. I've got a rash on my shell. But Mr. and Mrs. Big Head, best neighbors ever. I mean, Rocco was always fun. Good Will Hunting. It's a really good one, in my opinion.
I can agree. I think it deserves a pretty high place up there. Cartoons back in the 90s and the 2000s, if you didn't grow up back in that era watching cartoons, were actually made for adults too. There was a lot of adult talking points in those shows and made you think. One that is coming up later that we'll talk about. Rugrats brought a lot of that into the show, and even if you were a kid like me, when I was probably like at least like maybe 3 or 4 years old when I first started watching Rugrats, and it was a good show.
I feel like the Rugrats were the 90s versions of Little Einsteins, but with actual adults involved. This show, many of days I spent watching it growing up, and it was a fun show to grow up with.
I respect this show more than any other show on the network. Samurai Jack is just a good show. Yeah, this show was basically to me like a another Star Wars. It had its amazing good moments. Story wise, it was fantastic. That's why they're making another one.
I've watched Samurai Jack the whole way through, the old version, and loved it. Cool characters, original content. I wish it had 4 hands so I could give it 4 thumbs up. It's a good show.
Next is Scooby-Doo. Would you like me to give my perspective first, or would you like to open up with some talking points so I don't sour the pond of lusciousness here?
The pond of lusciousness. It's like, what kind of fish do you catch in there? Hello. Anyway, like, oh no, man, this is one of my favorite cartoons. Right, no, Raggy. As you can already tell, I'm a huge fan of Scooby-Doo. Screw Nancy Drew and screw Sherlock Holmes. These are my boys and my down ass britches. This is like the Justice League of detective work and Supernatural. If anything, the show Supernatural would have probably been better had they had a 50s guy from with an ascot, a stoner, and a talking dog.
They actually parody an episode in Supernatural.
Goes to show you how much I don't know that show.
So yeah, like just the live action stuff kind of ruins it for me. I don't think that it kills Scooby-Doo as a whole. I think Scooby-Doo, if it was on right now, I would go watch it. Like, it's that good of a show. And it deserves the praise. Not the new stuff, please God. The new stuff is just bad in my opinion. I would go watch the good old stuff that Scooby-Doo was created with, and it does deserve a high spot. So I will say because of that, it's going to Martian. So give us your take on The Simpsons. What do you feel about it?
I feel like I could describe it in one impression. Oh, homie. That's a day brightener. You're having a bad day, just do a Marge Simpson voice to the best you can. I mean, it's The Simpsons. This is like the godfather of sitcom animation. It's a national treasure. Everyone watched the show on primetime television, still does. Other shows emulate it. Other shows have copied it because they've done everything for the most part. I think they're top tier.
Yeah,
great.
I don't even need to say anything about The Simpsons. It just belongs up there. Like, it's legendary. It's in that legendary status. This next one is also legendary in its own right, and I could talk about South Park for hours. I'm not going to, because we have to condense it as much as possible. South Park is that good. It's just, it belongs. We're going to talk about it real quick, but I'm just putting it up in the Martian right now. South Park was that first show that put that dirty humor and that extremely dark humor into animation.
But no, I for comedy, I'm always going to advocate. We need to say messed up things. We need to push those boundaries. It's how we confront things in a better way. Like, the show literally opens pathways for us to have conversations about the messed up things because it addresses it and has no qualms with doing so. Through comedy, you are able to talk about it with a little less of a sting, and you can come into it without, I know I'm going into like philosophy now, but you can go into it and talk about something because they were able to turn it around in a funny way. It's words, folks. We need to learn how to process things without jumping into our agendas so quick and drawing lines. It's not all black and white. There's a lot of gray area, and this show's perfect at it.
So the next one, I'm just going to pull it up to Martian because this is another show. This is the show that I was talking about when it comes to creators, animationists creating shows for kids with a lot of adult humor in it. If you've never gone back and watched an old episode of SpongeBob, as an adult, I implore you to go do that right now. You will find so much hidden humor in this show about all these adult topics, especially like the early episodes where SpongeBob is just starting a new job at the Krusty Krab, and he's going through the processes of possibly being fired and Squidward being the manager and everything. I've worked at restaurants before. It builds such a good relationship with how you feel rather than what you would say to your managers, and SpongeBob speaks all the truths about that. It's absolutely hilarious.
Yes, loved it. Loved the adult humor in it. Buttocks off. I love that show, and if you ask me if I want to watch it, I'm gonna go, I'm ready.
All right, so I've never watched Steven Universe. It's just kind of one of those shows that is after our era. I'm gonna put it in Suburbicon because I've never watched it. So I can't really place it anywhere on my list.
We could probably just skip over the next two because I have no idea what they are and I don't care. Sorry.
There's okay. So I've never seen On Deck. I don't even know what that is. I have never personally sat down and watched it. I've just seen snippets of the show. I can't really make a good judgment on it. So
no, that's bad.
Total Drama Island. I didn't find anything good off the show. I've watched episodes out of it. You've never seen it?
I've seen it, and it's just a rip on Survivor.
Yeah,
the reality show, and
I didn't find it any funny or anything at like that. It just wasn't enjoyable.
It's like a cartoon trying to be a reality show, and reality shows aren't good. They are not good.
I'm just gonna put that on Stuck on You. I didn't think it was good at all. There's no rewatchability for me. We got a good one next. I love Teen Titans. it did so well for its era. This was when comic books and comic book movies were starting to become really popular.
So this one came out a little bit after Justice League Unlimited, which is the second iteration of that cartoon. So this was kind of on that tidal wave, like you were explaining. One word to describe the show: booyah. A little bit more serious, had some stakes, has Deathstroke as a main villain. So if you know anything about DC, you really can't go wrong with Deathstroke. Great character work, really good voice acting. I want to touch real quick on, this is one of those shows that got that revamp, like we were talking about, like the Powerpuff Girls. So, well, wait. I know when they switched over, so many people were upset. Comedically, that show is gold. One of the best episodes from that series is the super serious episode. Look it up, because the writers and creators of the show were so tired of the fan base going, "What happened to the old Teen Titans show? You guys didn't watch it when it was on the network." and then it got canceled because you weren't watching it. And then we got okayed to do this version, which is doing better with the younger crowds. I get it. The old Teen Titans loved it. Put it up.
It's going up, Matt Damon. Martian. It's just that good.
It's going up in Matt Damon.
It's going up in the Matt Damon.
Oh, it's fantastic. This just sucks for everybody. But
we can go ahead and I'd never watched that, so Raven, I'm just gonna put it down here. I've never actually sat down and watched it. It wasn't for me.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I intro this next one?
Yeah.
Because this is a personal favorite of mine. Okay.
Yeah.
Eliza, today we're going to go film a platypus fighting a beaver.
So invigorating.
Love this show, Wild Thornberries. Oh my gosh. It's a spin on the old tale of Dr. Dolittle, someone that can talk to animals or understand them. How does she do it? She runs into a totem, some weird supernatural freaky deaky tribal stuff happens, and she can now understand the lions and all the other ones, and apparently they sound like Sean Connery. Great family interactions. It's a wholesome show. The little wild guy, I think his name's Donnie, I think.
Yeah.
Voiced by Flea, the bassist from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally just him going, it's just gibberish, which, as of doing voice acting, had to have been the most fun thing to record. Great show. I loved it. Top tier for me. If you don't agree, then I will throw things at you.
I don't think it's on Martian level, but it's definitely on Good Will Hunting level.
It goes on Marshall.
Yes, Aiden.
It's I get it.
Next, we are going to talk about Tom and Jerry. I just want to talk about the old school cartoons, Tom and Jerry. I don't want to talk about any of the new stuff. I don't want to talk about the live action movies because those were dreadful. I don't want to talk about the cartoon movies because those were kind of a hit and miss. It was kind of like those Looney Tunes in a sense, where it played a huge role in the way cartoons were pushed to a certain limit. It was the slapstick comedy of the cartoon world. As far as cartoons go, I would place it probably either Good Will Hunting or Martian.
I think they were just friends that was just stuck in a bad place, and they had to battle it out, or else Mama would get a new cat that would kill Jerry.
All right, so I've never watched this next one. I've heard about it. I think it might still be on the network. I don't know. But
I think it is. Love the show. And I saw a couple episodes. It's actually kind of funny. I probably wouldn't put it in Sheboygan.
Okay, what do you want to put it? I've never seen it personally, so I can't really make a judgment on this.
I'd put it up in Brothers Grimm. It's, again, I'm not really big on Disney live action shows. They are super tropey from what I can tell, but Wizards of Waverly Place actually had some pretty funny bits in it. It's pretty silly. People are probably gonna hate me because I don't like the sweet life of Zach and Cody, but I don't care. It's just two kids in that show. These people are actually wizards, and it actually had me laughing at my old age. So I liked it. It was okay.
You're such an old fart. Next is Zek and Luther. I've never watched it. I don't even know what the hell it is.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. The confusing stare on your face definitely implemented that. We have never seen. And last but not least, Zoe 101. This was a train wreck in my opinion. I've watched maybe like one episode of it when it was on, but it was trying to follow a succession of earlier Nickelodeon shows, and I think it's poopy.
This is the show that got her pregnant.
She changed her name to Zoe, and she got pregnant.
Zoe don't care. This is my body. I do what I want. No, yeah, because she got pregnant at like 16 or something, didn't she?
Yeah, early.
She got
age.
pregnant young.
Early
like,
age.
It was like, oh, hey there.
Yeah, that's
somebody's...
that's what killed the show is her getting pregnant. She got pregnant, and it was over.
Somebody touched the forbidden fruit.
If it was on the Disney station, they would have had her had an abortion and just put her right back on the show.
Or just she wears a green screen thing around her belly so they can keep. So, we've invested too much money. You're gonna walk out the whole time.
Anyways, guys, that is the cartoon tier list. At least our cartoon tier list. Let us know what you think about it in the comment section. This is the way that we see our cartoons, and to me, I think this is a very accurate representation of how we both feel about cartoons.
Honestly, it feels good where we put it. Like, on the whole, it feels good. But yeah, if you think we did something wrong or misplaced a certain item, or you feel like you'd want to share your favorite moments from some of the shows that we've addressed today, please like, subscribe, and comment down below your favorite parts, and we'll maybe do a shout out for it.
So cartoons are important to us, and we wanted to express just how important they were to us in a battle of the Matt Damon tier list. Let us know what you guys think. We will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.
That's Morph. I'm Laser. Goodbye.